podcast. My goodness, it's about a month now until Dawn Treader comes out, and well, I thought I'd do well a little bit of an upbeat podcast. I just thought I'd look at some of the images that we're seeing now for the film, and I don't know what how I'm going to feel about the film. I don't think I don't expect it to be a good adaptation at this point. Tyrion's review is pretty positive, and he really liked it. And he didn't really give a review, but on Narnia Web today he posted his main thoughts, and it's I guess it's encouraging to an extent, but well, basically the one thing that's looking incredible is the images, the cinematography, some of the stills. So I really wanted to go through just a few that, well, frankly, some of the images that we're seeing right now. Some of them look I'll just go through them here. Some of the ones that come up over the last couple weeks on Narnia Web. Starting off, there's one with Lucy inside the ship, and you see Susan's horn in the background, and that you see the cabinet with Aslan's face on it. Makes me wonder about the end of the book if they're gonna use that. Well, I guess we'll see. But again, just some of the amazing artistry. One thing I've always loved in these films is the craftsmanship. Films the worlds don't look cheap. Especially Prince Caspian, I think, was the best. It just looks so rich, such great artistry that these wonderful craftsmen poured in here. I'm really pleased with it, and so in those aspects, I think that so far the Dawn Treader, it's very fantastical. It's like, hey, let's just go with it. Let's just run with this concept from the book and not try to, play it down a little bit. There's another image of Reepicheep and Eustace, and it just looks fantastic. It's so much like how I imagined the dragon. The eyes are very human eyes, but they're very emotional. They give off a lot of character, but it's still, it's a hideous face. It's not a kind of good-looking dragon like Sean Connery and Dragonheart or something like that. And you have Reepicheep with kind of a stupid grin on his face in this picture, but overall it's great. I think there were some complaints earlier on. I know Glumpuddle felt that the Eustace dragon, at least what he was saying, looked a little too humanoid, and I never saw that. I always said I thought the Eustace dragon looked really fantastic. There's another image here of, well, dare I call her Stargirl, Lily Andel, who's Ramandu's daughter, and it's hard to see really what's going on in this picture, but it looks like, I never really had a problem with her kind of glowing, as long as it was done well. I mean, there's a good, you can do it kind of cheaply, make it look kind of cheesy and cliche, or you can actually do it kind of maybe a little more subtly. And here it doesn't look like they're really overdoing it, although it's definitely a glow. And they're actually, I think they're probably making her a star, which I wouldn't do. It's not really in a part of the mythology. She's the daughter of a star. We don't know who her mother is, and it's questionable, I guess whether she could have married Caspian. But those kind of things are in some ways just secondary to what's really going on. And it's a good image. I don't really mind this a lot, and it is a very beautiful surrounding house. The woods there and everything going on. We have the Dufflepuds, and this is one of those things that I probably would have done them a little differently. They look a little too Hobbit-ish to me, a little too much of a combination of hobbits and dwarves. But frankly, I'm really glad. This is another one of those examples where just because maybe the book describes something kind of absurd and ridiculous, because that's really two great words to describe the Dufflepuds. They're absurd, they're ridiculous, they're like nothing you would ever imagine. I wonder how C.S. Lewis really thought to himself, wouldn't it be interesting if there were some kind of ugly little dwarfs with one giant foot. Now, it's not really big enough foot for them to shade themselves in, but it does give off this really great look. I mean, it's an entirely civilized place we're seeing here. And in this photo, it's interesting seeing these because in these photos, the film doesn't look cheesy. It doesn't look two-dimensional. It doesn't have that classic film look. But it's very possible that they did some things to the trailer or didn't do some things to the trailer footage that changed it. And wow, some of the end of the world footage. This looks incredible. Now we do have Caspian standing with them, and it's questionable. I don't know if we'll actually have the Aslan as a lamb. There's Aslan being a lamb. That's really one of the more iconic images of the book. One of the great Pauline Baynes images. Let's see. I should have it here. I think it's... Ah, yes. This is one of the classic pictures from Pauline Baynes I remember as a small child, where they meet the lamb who's already prepared a meal for them. I doubt that'll be in here, but still, I understand that to try to make it maybe a little more concise. That's probably why they're doing it, but still, Aslan looks very real in this picture. The wave looks great. I was always wondering, I thought, could they pull the wave off to make it look interesting so it doesn't just look cheesy and ridiculous, like a 20-foot wave, let's do something a little more down to earth. No, they're really going with the magic here, and I'm really glad to see that. There's a great image here of Caspian. Now, presumably, I think this is the shot where Reepicheep has left and he's going up to Aslan's country, and it's a great shot of Caspian. Aslan looks a little bit fake, but it's very possible it'll look better in the film. But it does look better than the Prince Caspian Aslan. It looks a little more realistic, and it'd be interesting to actually do some photo comparisons to see if he's growing. But it is a great shot here, and this last shot is just incredible. I would have never. This is better than my imagination. This shot right here is better than how I imagined it. Now it is different with the hole in the water, so obviously it's going to be a little different from my imagination. But just the beauty, the sky, the water, Aslan standing there on the beach. It's just a beautiful, beautiful image, and I am at least glad that these kind of images are going to be in the film. And if the story and the themes can convey the same kind of beauty that these films are conveying, that will indeed be a very great feat for the filmmakers and the scriptwriters. So those are just some brief thoughts on some of the images, and this is Rillian signing off. Further up and further in.